Hey everybody, my name is Kalle Slaap, watchmaker from the Netherlands, and this is a Grail watch for many. The Heuer Autavia. I promise you, the star of the show, as it should be, is on the inside of a watch, because it already says automatic chronograph and the date. It's a lefty. The pushers don't work. There is a lot to do, well worn, but I hope you will agree, especially at the end of the stream, this is something special. It's a pre-recorded session because I'm on a very short holiday, 3 nights to Athens in Greece to see the Antikythera mechanism. So I am sorry, but I cannot answer your questions at the moment. But let's have a look. There we go. There is the camera, and you're watching with me, hopefully in focus. There we are, to this beautiful watch, because it is beautiful, I promise. Now, just on the outside, the lovely sunburst finishing here on top, then the highly polished facet in the middle, then the sides. I'm not going to do too much polishing because it's all nice and sharp and crisp, and that's how we like it. Well, I promised you the inside. Oh wow. Well, the back, we are going to do some there's some DNA test. Oh wow, somebody had really difficulty opening the watch case. Ouch. But when you see the end result, it's going to be okay, I promise. Then we have a look here on the inside. Heuer Leonidas with some watchmaker's marks that corresponds with a logbook, so there's not too much information on that watchmaker marks, but this, yeah, it's the iconic Heuer caliber 15, and in almost 7 years of streaming, I think it's the first time I do this Heuer 15 live on camera. Do you remember the front, which says automatic chronograph? We are so used that the rotor for the automatic winding is in the back, but it isn't. Really, really interesting movement. Many moons ago, when my beard had a different color, I did my final thesis on this movement for the Dutch watchmaking school. Is that an F? Is that a mark? I am not sure. Let's do the calibration for the camera for a moment. There we are. So, a lefty, and just have a look at this spring. It is beautiful. Again, the pushers are stuck, so I'm not going to use too much force. You see, it's slow and it's in need of some TLC. Yeah. And here's some extra room for another dial. Iconic movement, definitely not the easiest, and simply because of the construction. Have a look. You'll figure it out. Because as you can see, it has got a date. Then you got the normal movement timepiece. Then somewhere in the middle is the automatic winding, and on the back it is the chronograph, and there is the weak spot. Sheer design, but the chronograph all the way in the back, well, you cannot reach the automatic winding that easily. But this is the pivot for the center second, and that is the one for the minute counter, simply because the chronograph is in the back. It's got an insane length of pivot. Simply because it's in the back, it is further removed from the dial. You see in a moment it has to be picked up dead straight. If you go a bit like this, if they're bent, the pivot will catch the inside and your amplitude will go down. It is really, really, really not an easy movement to work on. So there is the screw for the setting lever. Always first impression of the winding stem. That is old lubrication, isn't it? Yeah. Really old lubrication. What will we find? As ever, you probably know, I don't do any work up front. I do not know what to expect. Otherwise it will be boring even for me. But now it is, well, an adventure like archaeology. What will we find? Well, this is usually when I welcome you all, but yeah, for this time, a pre-recorded session. When you see this, I'll be in Greece with my girlfriend and having a look at, well, it's a bucket list thingy for me. The Antikythera mechanism, 2,000-year-old computer. 2,000-year-old, made in the Mediterranean area, and it's got so many functions that nobody really knows 100% what it's for and who made it. No stress. Let's have a look at the pushers, why they are catching. I think at least 37 brass wheels, very fine teeth. So it is the pinnacle of technical ability at that time. Well, it is well worn and in need of some TLC, don't you think? Then the dial. Here you can see that the calendar is just about pushing, and that is always when movement stops, because setting the date at just about 11:45 takes a lot of energy from the movement. It has to push against the friction. So when a watch stops, especially quartz, but mechanical as well, just about always just before midnight. Then let's have a look. Well, we're not the first who are about to remove the hands. Oh well. And here we see that the dial is slightly moved. Do you see that the middle of the pivot there isn't the middle of the hole in the dial? But we have a look. So I love to use this. For the second hand, I like to use the Presto tool. Just to take it off. There we go. Have to concentrate for a moment. That is really stuck. There we are. Special foil, not actually touching the hands, not actually touching the dial. Lovely color and patina, beautiful. And in a moment you are really going to appreciate the movements, I'm sure of that. This caliber 15. So all safe. Always a tricky bit. Now, it isn't really that bad for the pivot. That's pretty okay. Well, look at that in the middle. Just the strange and different design of a microrotor. Hey, look at that. It is just falling out of the movement. I think we have a reason why it stopped. I don't know where it's from yet, but we see in a moment. Interesting. First, dial feed screws. Make sure it's safe. That's the one. And two. Oh, sorry, just out of there. Just be sure, check, triple check. Dial feed screws, you can see the white spacer in between. Concentrate for a moment on the dial. There she is. Lovely, lovely. And here. That shiny stuff, is that excess oil? Wow. Hey, and do you see? It starts running. So the bit there that just fell out of the movement was blocking the movement. Let's have a look. And here you can see that this wheel is pushing the date ring. Just about to change date. I really do wonder what was blocking the movement. Cool. Slightly larger screwdriver. Everybody has got a different Holy Grail watch. I really would like to hear about your preferences. I thought I had a Grail watch, well, about 8 years ago. Here you can see this is sliding underneath here, and maybe you can see it there, releasing the hour wheel. I thought I had a Grail watch. I restored an Omega Speedmaster, and here you can see that thingy was sliding in between these wheels and locking it. I use a piece of packwood to use the slider so I don't make any scratches underneath here. That is so unnecessary. Be very careful with the 3 pivots because they are so incredibly long. Possibly one of the longest, well, at least I have come across, but in watchmaking probably. while we're here, I'm going to remove this plate with the date wheel. Again, just to make sure it's safe. Hey, oh, of course. I thought, that screw was loose, but I just loosened it myself. Okay. There we go. There we are. Careful with the pivots. And not to make any scratches. There we are. Ooh, there you can see a lot of lubrication. Do you see it just over there? Well, there's the yoke. Oh, here. Oh, we're in for an adventure, I think. And there. Oh, sorry, the Grail watch story. I was able to buy a moon watch, the Omega Speedmaster. I always thought that that was my poster watch. Really wanted. I thought that's it. And when I was in the watchmaking school, I was able to buy one for $600. But, and that's why I was able to buy it, the guy threw it against the wall at his ex's house. So the case was egg-shaped. Every pivot imaginable was broken. The hands were damaged. Ah, look at that. It was a mess. That's why it was so cheap. And I was in a watchmaking school, so I was able to restore it myself. Concentrate for just a moment. And so $600. I thought, well, didn't have too much money at the time, so, because I was investing in my my workshop. So every time I ordered some parts, I ordered a few parts for my Grail watch, the Speedmaster, and I think it took me just under a year, and the Speedmaster was finished. New hands, well, just about complete new gear train. All the wear was out, hammer time, it was running perfectly. So finally, I was able to wear my Speedmaster. And it just didn't feel right. For my wrist, for my taste. It's all about taste. So if you love your Speedmaster, you're absolutely right, because it is an exceptional watch, but didn't do the trick for me. So I love 34 to 36 millimeters on my wrist, and now I don't wear hardly wear any watches. Look at this. So yeah, I sold it, and I thought I had my Grail watch and so happy with it. It just didn't feel right, and I only found out while wearing it. Here, this is for the hand setting. That one, that one, that one, and that one. I love the spring action in this wheel. What a design is this. But now you can see with the lubrication there is so much play in that gear train just to set the hands. And it's drowning in oil underneath. Do you see that here? The real shiny bit. All lubrication over there, over there, over there. A watch just needs a few tiny drops. It is here with that lubrication, the black stuff, it is really sticky around that post. There we are. Oh, do you? Ooh. That's why it was so sticky. That is a serious long time since it's seen some maintenance. Wow. So yeah, to finish the story, I sold the Speedmaster, perfectly restored. And I don't think I never bought back a serious watch. That is really old, gunky crap. Well, we're gonna clean it, it's gonna be brand new. Well, there's still some power on the mainspring. So again, you will see the length of the pivots running past the automatic winding. It is really something else, this movement. So I just want to say everybody's got their own personal Grail watch, and I love that. Don't let anybody tell you that, or don't get snobs to tell you that your watch is inferior or different or what else. Everybody has got their own Grail watch. We do have to pay attention of the broken part. Where did it come from? First I'm going to remove this plate, remove the wheels, and peel off step by step. Slightly bigger. Interesting, do you see that? Never registered. It has got high quality timepiece, of course, calendar, automatic winding, and chronograph. It says just the 17 jewels. I have to resharpen the screwdriver, sorry about that. There. that grips so much better. I really don't want to leave marks on the screws. There we are. I found it interesting that we had the black sediment of old lubrication and the glistening, relatively fresh oil. There we go. Right in between. There. Oh, carbon tip tweezers, not to make any scratches. Plop. Ooh, and again, what does the lubrication... do you see the glistening stuff? Oh my god. Well, now have to concentrate on this one. I think we've got the broken spring. Just that piece over there. Here. This bit here, and here is a bit missing. That is interesting. I think that's the broken spring we just found, what blocked the movement. Wow, what do we have here? Here is the hammer with the reset, and now the minute counter there with the idiotic long pivot. The second with the idiotic long pivot. Sorry about that, but I really had to concentrate to move it perfect straight up. If it's bent, it's just, there is no way the movement is gonna run nice. I am quite convinced that, yeah, there we are. That spring broke and the broken part stopped the movement. I must admit, quite satisfying to find that. Yeah, that is here. And do you see, if you're into watches, this is straight Valjoux 7750, the vertical clutch. Forgot about that one. Contrasting screws, contrasting color. That one under here probably. That is for the plates. Iconic movement this is. D. take it off from the cam. Well, if you just joined, my name is Kalle Slaap, watchmaker from the Netherlands. A pre-recorded session because I am in lovely Greece, in Athens, with my girlfriend to look at the Antikythera movement mechanism. So, pre-recorded session. I am in the plane when you see this. So I'm sorry I couldn't be with you live, but I wanted to give you something really special, and that is this iconic movement. Iconic, and remember, just a few drops will do for watchmaking. Here, of course, you probably recognized left-handed screw, left-handed thread, so links is los, nu de andere kant op. Have to concentrate on that. So I turn clockwise to loosen this particular screw. There we are. Clockwise to loosen it, and I have to keep track on that tiny spring. So you need 3 hands to do this one, and there. The spring. Yeah. Let me see. Here is the broken piece. And you see it is exactly that. Really do hope we can find it. Otherwise, it's not an easy part to make. Look, this is built on pillars, the movement. Here, spacers, just like a pocket watch. Built in modules, layer upon layer upon layer. Such an interesting movement. And a bit different in a quirky way. Wow. Now with the chronograph module almost disassembled, we will finally see the automatic winding. First, make sure I gently lift the module. There we are. I love it when a plan comes together. Look at that. Put it under the wobbly cam for a moment, because it is such an interesting but different way of watch design. Here, of course the balance wheel. There the pallet fork, microrotor, and here's such a gear train. This looks a bit like Omega, the later Omega, early 70s. The 1000 series really resembles that. And here the click. And here the gear train for the automatic winding. It's just so each side, this is just automatic. This bit here is just timekeeping. And there on top is just the clutch and the engagement of the chronograph. Lovely, lovely stuff. Let me see. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Yeah, first I'm going to remove the automatic winding. Yeah, and indeed. Oh, sorry again. I had to change. I'm so into the movement. I had to change the cameras. And just like we saw earlier on, remember the 17 jewels? Here, those aren't jewels. And the teeth, is that worn or? That might be a seriously worn wheel. If it was early 1900s Patek Philippe, it would be wolf teeth. But I think this is just incredibly worn. And do you see? I love details like that. They try to add grease to compensate for the wear. That will never work. That will never work. Oh wow. Oh yeah. This is just like Baume Maché. Here. With the incredibly delicate spring. Well, you probably know by now, but I should do it again anyway. Oh, we have a black one. It's always a bit like roulette. What kind of color hair will be harvested? Here, that silly spring is there. A fraction of the width of my hair. A third of a human hair. Well, I consider myself human for a moment, as you as you just noticed. And here the wig-wag. So it is bi-directional. Either way you move, you are winding the watch. That's a lovely design. And here, that is just sliding in between two huge jewels, rubies. And I know from experience you don't lubricate this, because if it's stuck, it will not disengage to go to the other side. Yeah. Well, first remove the microrotor. We don't do any not too many micro rotors on our YouTube channel, Chronoglide. Because they are really not that easy. And here. I know what the problem is, of course. Because this is a pre-recorded session, you are not reminding me to have coffee. Do you see them? Just over there. Cheers, everybody. That's niet het. Cheers. Remember that the movement was stuck because of the broken spring. There might be still some power on the mainspring. So even before removing the microrotor, I'm going to remove the power from the mainspring in the alternative way. Usually you just let your crown slip between your fingers while holding the click. But of course the alternative way is removing the balance wheel. There we are. Straight graining. There the pallet fork. And once that is removed, then there will be no power on the mainspring. Gently. And then straight up. 3, 2, 1, plop. Hey. Oh, wow. Well, I think we just found the root cause for a very shitty running watch. En dat is simply de... Even kijken, die. I think the... sorry about that, I had to concentrate. The mainspring, the power in the main barrel, it seems like it's slightly stuck like that. So I've got a feeling that it isn't moving freely. Well, I have to remove that wheel first. Well, luckily not a huge workshop, But this is the Presto tool with, there you can see 2 hooks, and on that side 1. So if everything goes well, we'll be able to pull. The 2 hooks will go over 1 spoke. So this one is for an uneven amount of spokes. And because there is a recess, I cannot protect with some foil as we usually do. So now underneath. Ah, lovely stuff. Do you see how it's pulling? With 1 spoke in between the hooks. It's a very special tool, you don't use it too often, but when you need it. And there we have the beautiful straight pivot, because that is from the second wheel. There. So in effect it is coaxial. I got a feeling that the main barrel is stuck. So and that's why I'm a bit concentrating, don't think I can remove the ratchet wheel yet. Now I know. That one is blocking the show. Is that one? Is that one? Well, first then the automatic winding. Eerst nog even the small one. Yeah, underneath. First this one. And wow. And then that incredibly small 1/3 of a human hair springy thingy. There we are. There the sliding bit. And this one I'm going to, because this is the same as the Baume Mercier microrotor. I always clean that by hand. Just rinse it in some alcohol, isopropyl, and definitely not in the cleaning machine, because it is simply too delicate. Well, this side, that's the alarm. There. Kinda amazed that they didn't use rubies for these bearings here. These. This was such an expensive watch. And not made by the 10,000s, I presume. So what is the money you're going to save by just that few rubies? The production is exactly the same. Let's have a look. Well, ladies and gentlemen, besides the broken spring, I think we found the root cause for the malfunction of this exceptional Holy Grail watch. That is just way too much play, and you are not going to solve it by adding extra lubrication. You probably all know already there is no defect in a watch or malfunction that can be solved by adding more lubrication. And look at this. They should add lubrication before the old stuff is completely dry and horrible, and this used to be grease. Simply overdue maintenance. And I know I'm a watchmaker, so but this is, well, you don't have to see be a watchmaker to see that is way too much play. Well, almost there. Well, only 2 screws for this plate, so the click and this wheel has got a double function. I'm going to remove the springs first because I know for sure we are going to lose them. There. No stress. And this one, there we are. Those are really small as well. Now they're way too small. If you just joined, I am so sorry I cannot answer your question. It's a pre-recorded session because I'm in the plane on the way back from Greece. Oh, here you can see the double function for the screw. So a pre-recorded session, but I think you will agree that this is not just a timepiece. The iconic caliber 15 from Heuer Leonidas, from the Heuer Autavia, the real man. Chronograph, sports chronograph, and oh, it's really stuck with the old lubrication crap. There we are. It is just horrible. Wow. Then, only thing left. Is here the gear train. And then we have a good pre-rinse because, wow. Sorry, but I have to concentrate on this. And then we can see the pivots, but well, I feel the watch just stopped because the spring, a small spring broke from the reset. And well, the addition of lubrication just didn't help. I am enjoying this. And again here, those two no rubies. Find it an interesting way for reducing cost. There. And that one. Let's have a look at the... Yeah. And the escape wheel. You can see the oil glistening. Pivots are okay, don't you think? Well, that's it for today. What a ride! What a huge amount of parts. A pre-recorded session because I'm on a 3-day holiday. But that really hones in the added value of you, the viewer, being in the chat, and the interaction and your questions and your fun and humor. So I really do hope you enjoyed the stream, and I longing for you to see you again and to do the stream together with you. Again, thank you so much for allowing me on your screen, and hope to see you soon. Enjoy your evening. See ya. Bye bye.